I'm going to start a video that I kind of searched the web, and I didn't understand, as me being like ignorant, I hate to say that, towards reloading. I'm going to really start off at the really basics of reloading, kind of like reloading for dummies, and what you need. I'm not going to jump you into turret press, progressive presses, anything like that. It's just because of the initial costs, and you know, if you even want to get into go ahead and reloading or not. So let's start off the basics. Basic and cheap. This is a Lee reloading press. It's a single stage press is what we call it. This is what you're going to need to reload. Got a part number 90045. You can pick these up for less than 30 bucks. And by the way, you're always going to use that. Even if you do have a progressive press, you will always wind up using that. So that's something that's not going to be a waste of money. Second of all is going to be a good set of calipers. You're going to need these. This is what you're going to need to use to set up your dies into your press to get your overall bullet length. You have to have this. Guessing doesn't count. Guessing can be dangerous. Guessing can be deadly in this type of thing. The third is actually going to be a priming tool. This one's a Lee priming tool. Again, it's cheap. I buy cheap, and it works. This kit here I purchased from Cabela's. I bought this, and it actually comes with the shell holder that actually fit into the priming tool. I'll show you how this works. This kit comes with a small primer, if you want to call this a hopper. It also comes with a large primer hopper. Basically your 45s, 44s, whatnot, you're going to use the large hopper. In here is your shell holder. These shell holders are definitely different from the shell holders you use on your press. They actually are flat. There's nothing on the back. There's a little notch where your casing slides into it. They usually have numbers stamped on them. When you get your die kit, usually the shell holder in the die kit will have the number stamped. You can go into your shell holder kit and you can pull out the number you need. On this Lee kit, you actually slide the hopper back. You just drop the shell holder in, voila. And that's when you go ahead and have your empty casing. And then that slides in and you can prime it. My later videos, I'll show you actually how to prime. But right now, we're just getting into the basics, the really bottom basic stuff that you're going to need. This is going to be your third purchase. Set that right there so you can look at it. Your fourth purchase is going to be a scale. I'm going to show you something really quick. Again, I'm cheap. Cheap has bitten me in the butt a few times. This is one instance that cheap has bitten me in the butt. I got this powder scale from Lee. Let me show you a picture of it so you can really see it without taking it out. This is your powder scale. It's basically on a pintle. It's held by a magnetic. It's got a little ball and it measures your grains, and it's supposed to balance out the grains you need. This thing's a pain in the butt. The reason why I'm half bald is I think because of this thing right here. Don't spend the money. Don't buy this. This is a mistake I made. Don't make the same mistake. I don't know why I still have it, but I do. Again, this is probably the cheapest digital scale I found. I got this one at Cabela's. It was like 49 bucks, if I remember right. Actually, it's working pretty good. Again, a scale you're going to need. You're going to be using it for, even if you have the auto loaders that you bolt on. It's got a hopper. You're going to need to measure that powder somehow. You're still going to need a scale. Again, I'm not going to get into those powder measures because it's added money and you can do without it. I've been doing it without it, but it's nice if you want to speed things up. This one is just a simple Hornady one. Got the scale. I got your powder pan that sits in there, and it also comes with the weight to actually zero out the scale if something happens, you drop it or whatever, or you think it's off. That's number 4 purchase. Your 5th purchase is, it's called a trickler, but around here we call it a tickler. I don't know how it started, but my father and friends would call it tickler. It's actually a trickler. When you get your little scoop that comes in your die kit, I'll show you, and you dump it in here, and say you're looking for a 4.3 grain, and that little scooper always comes up, say 3.9 grains. Depends on the powder you use, but anyway, what this guy does, it's got a hopper. You fill with powder. It's actually on an angle, so when you turn this, it's actually gravity fed, and it trickles little grains of powder into that powder pan, and then you could go ahead and measure your powder accordingly. Again, it's inexpensive. I think it's 10 bucks, I think, or 12 bucks, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. That basically is going to go with your scale. And to be honest with you, you're going to screw up rounds. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. You're going to need a bullet hammer. Another inexpensive item. So Lyman, I paid, I think, $14 for this one. Simple item. Even if you press your bullet in too far as you're setting it up, your dies, you could always lightly tap and extend the bullet. If you haven't crimped it, you could extend it and then set it back in the die. This hammer had the large caliber casing and the small caliber casing. That came with this hammer. So again, we're talking cheap because I'm a cheap butt. And there's your hammer. Pretty much your last purchase is going to be a set of dies. We're going to talk about pistol dies right here. Lee's, this one here was 33 bucks. I bought it for the old lady. I got her a Valentine present. She wanted a 380, so I bought her a SIG 380. And now we're reloading them. Usually the pistol dies, if you run ACP, you might just buy the 3-die kit. The 4th die is an actual crimping die. I don't crimp my ACP stuff. I basically think it just work hard as the case. Something I'll get in with my other videos. The only time you're going to need the actual crimping die is if you have a wheel gun, a revolver, something of that nature. You're going to have to crimp that bullet because when you shoot it, that bullet works its way out and it gets stuck in the wheel as it rotates up. I learned that 3-4 years ago. It kind of ticked me off. Let me open this up. Here's the little scooper that I was telling you about earlier. The first die comes in the kit is a decapping die and a sizing die. It's all built into one. So when you pick up your dirty brass, before you even clean them, you just run them through here, you decap them and size them, and you just plug away at them until you fill up your bucket of 100 or 1,000 or whatever casings you might have. The more the merrier, because once you set it up, this one's a really piece of cake to set up. You can't screw this one up. This is the shell holder that comes in the kit. It's got a number 4 on it. It's what I had in my primer. If you look at the back, it's definitely different now. It's got this little lug that sticks out. That's what actually slides into the press, and it holds your casing as you work it. That also comes in the kit. Now this one here is, well, what it is actually puts a flare on the end of the bullet case. It opens it up a little bit. It allows you to to actually put the bullet in without having to hold it all the time and pinch your fingers. It also has the through powder where you can actually put a funnel in here, or if you have a turret press later on down the road, you decide to use it, you can actually use your auto powder measure. I have a turret press that has it on it. It works perfect. Something else, this is the one you'll probably wind up screwing up on too. Later on in the video, I'll show you what I think this has to be set at. This is actually your bullet seating die. What it does is it actually runs in to your press. You tighten it down. This upper knob right here actually turns it in and allows the bullet how far it goes in and out of the casing. That's where your calipers come into effect. You have to measure that. This is, you're going to screw up a lot. You're going to push them in too far, too hard, not long enough until you get it right. Once you get it right, you just plug away at it. I'll show you in the videos later on. Okay, that's pretty much it on your basic stuff that you need to start.